Front-end, back-end, and full-stack developers. A comparison by ProCoders. The three main types of web programming are full-stack versus back-end versus front-end development. These three perform different but vital roles in web programming. While the last two are specialists, the first generalize. So, contrasting full-stack versus front-end developer or full-stack back-end developer is not as easy as one would front and back. Websites allow businesses to spread information and meet branding goals today. Which kind of programmer/engineer fits right into a project's needs? Find here an analysis of important areas in web development, which skills must be harnessed to tackle each, and also recommendations to hire the right programmers, whether back-end versus front-end versus full-stack. Front-end developers. Who is a front-end developer? In front-end web development, the latter commonly addresses the interface, which a user can view and directly experience. It concerns the overall presentation, style, feel, and look. Hence, it is also called client-side, client, technical word for the generic user. The approach requires such technologies as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They are to convert code data into a graphical interface. A front-end developer versus full-stack can create sites requiring no server-side features, e.g. databases. Those are called static sites, the very basic website type. For more complex websites, they work with server-side programmers and other professionals. Being a front-end programmer even is no mean task. Some responsibilities required include the following: balancing functionality, technical, with aesthetics, creative. Mobile responsiveness. Optimizing for speed and efficiency. Enhancing user experience. Front-end developer hourly rates and salary. In the US, the pay is generally around $70,000 to $120,000 per year. A full-stack versus front-end developer and a back-end programmer as well earn similar rates. Back-end developers. Who is a back-end developer? What's the difference between front-end developer and back-end developer? Unlike front-end coders, back-end professionals are responsible for a site's internal operational constituents. Hence, the server side facilitates the smooth interaction of elements for correct display. These elements include the server, application, and database. Back-end developer skills and responsibilities. Back-end programmers are often referred to by the programming language in which they are most proficient, such as Ruby developer, PHP developer, or Python developer. However, some responsibilities apply to all back-end coders, irrespective of these languages. Building a system architecture. Managing resources, databases, APIs, etc., for seamless running. Organizing system logic. Cloud computing integration, where necessary. Back-end developer hourly rates and salary. Full-stack developers. In back-end versus front-end versus full-stack web programming, skills exclusivity isn't common. A back-end programmer needs a rudimentary grasp of client-side tools, at least, the trio of JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. It happens vice versa too for a front-end versus full-stack developer, and mostly because for effective collaboration, each person should communicate in each other's own words. Full-stack developer skills and responsibilities. No defined responsibilities exist for full-stack front and back-end developers. They vary by job descriptions. However, these are common. Project planning and life cycle management. The overview of full-stack programmers is vital for organizing a project through to execution. Facilitating software improvements alongside data analysts, etc. Implementing certain features, security, scalability, reliability, etc. Full-stack developer hourly rates and salary. So, whom do I need for my project? As modern technology evolves, full-stack versus back-end versus front-end developers blend together. Web programming is dynamic and requires the collaboration of various professionals. Whichever type your project requires is informed by what's lacking. For instance, to improve your website's look and visual experience in accordance with contemporary styles, you should hire a front-end specialist. Although, integrating a payment processing API requires a back-end programmer's knowledge. Technically, hiring a full-stack coder seems less costly. Compared to hiring two specialists, one for the server side and another for the client side. However, that would double the required project completion time, and the time costs might cancel out the financial savings. Although, a full-stack coder would be more efficient with minimal project specifications. In any case, if there are enough specialists, your project could benefit from the perspective of a full-stack programmer. That's regardless of which area their strengths tilt towards. Conclusion. Irrespective of full-stack versus back-end versus front-end, hiring a professional abroad may be more cost-effective. Ukraine, Poland, and India, etc. have skilled talents, whether front-end developer versus full-stack or back-end, with salary rates lower than US rates. Particularly, Ukraine has many IT universities and hubs for training new generations of front-end developer versus full-stack and back-end talents ready to make their mark in the global talent pool. Whichever type your project requires between full-stack versus back-end versus front-end developers, communicate your requirements, including with us at ProCoders, and get a skilled professional that meets your needs. Subscribe our channel and read more about front-end, back-end, and full-stack developers, a comparison at ProCoders blog.